Hi, this is Ron. I'm going to show you how I add your listings to your website. You send me a PDF file and then I go through this and I'll show you. If you want to add them yourself, you can follow this and get an idea of how it's done so that you can do it as well. Don't forget, I add your new listings for you as part of my service. I don't do sold listings. Well, I do sold listings, but I do charge for the time. So let's get started here. If you have a listing, you have a flyer, and most likely it's in a PDF file, although it could be in a Word document or a publisher file. No matter how you get the file, you want to convert it to a JPEG so that you can use it in your website. If you use a PDF file, it's harder for people to see it. They'd have to download it to see it, or use a JPEG. And the program I use you can use, most of your programs will allow you, they'll convert automatically to a JPEG. Publisher does. You can publish it as a JPEG, or you can publish it as a PDF and do it this way. The program that I use is called Foxit Reader, and you can download it for free. It's Foxit Reader, Foxit Reader. So the first thing I do when I get the PDF file is I will go through and I will copy the text. And Foxit Reader allows you to copy the text under Text Select here, and you can then copy the text. And then I just paste it into a notepad, something that you can copy from. So I have the text copied here, I've copied the headline, and I've copied some of the information, the description here. You want to have 3 or 4 sentences for your description in text, not just in the JPEG, and I'll show you why that is. So now that I've copied the text, I go back and I copy this into a JPEG. This program allows me to do a snapshot where I copy it into a JPEG, and then I can put it into my my graphics program. You can use IrfanView, or you may have a graphics program that you use. And in the graphics program, I simply, what I do is I crop it so that there's less white space. You don't have to, but I like to. And then once I crop it, I resize it. Your photos, your JPEGs should be no wider than 900 pixels. 900 pixels wide is how big you want your JPEG, because that'll fit on the page. If you make it larger, it won't fit on the page. And if you make it smaller, of course, then people can't read it as well. So I like to do 900 pixels wide, and then I go through and I focus it. Again, you can use whatever graphics program you want to resize it and make it so that it'll fit on the page. And once I've done that, I then save it. And it's a good idea to use an optimization program to save it. IrfanView has one. You can save it at a lower resolution than what it is, because this photo originally is 3 megabytes, which is way too big to upload to your website. It'll take forever for people to download it and see it, especially if they have a slow connection or a cell phone. So it's best to reduce the resolution a little bit so it reduces the file size. This particular graphics program does it for me, but again, you can use IrfanView or any others. So I'm reducing it to about 1/10 of the size, and I'm going to save it. And you just save it wherever you need to save it, so you know where it is. And in this case, I'm going to just save it here. Okay, and just call it, whatever you need to call it, so you know what you're doing. Okay, so I've saved a flyer as a JPEG, and I've copied the text because I'm going to need all that. The last thing I do is I'm going to copy the main photo and save that as a featured image. because you'll also need a featured image. And in fact, I'm going to shrink that down to about 400 pixels. That's about what it needs to be. And I'm just going to save that as a featured image here. And again, this is what I do. This is part of my service. So I'm just showing you what I do and how it's done. So I save that as a featured image. I've saved the picture, I have saved the graphic, the featured image, and I have the text. The other thing that I need is I have a virtual tour, so I need to copy that, and I'm just going to grab the tour here. Normally you just have this in your email, and I forgot to do that. So let me just copy the virtual tour down, and then I will also show you how to post the virtual tour, which is part of what I do. So let's find the virtual tour for this. Is Plum Point, and the virtual tour is here, so I'll just copy that. Yeah, it's easier if you just have that in advance, and I didn't have that in advance, so I apologize. Okay, so now let's go back to what we were doing here. So I've got the text, I've got the graphic, and I've got the featured image, and I have the virtual tour. Now I can go ahead and I can add that post. In the dashboard, when you log into your admin page, you'll see your dashboard, and under posts you can go to add new post. We're going to add a new post, and in here for the title I put the address of the property. That makes it easy to find. It also creates what's called a search engine friendly URL. So the URL will be rmcdesign/1252 Whispering Oaks Drive, Blackhawk, or whatever your domain is. So that is a good idea, to save the address as the URL. I don't put a price in here because prices can change. I don't put active because it's going to be sold. I just put the address. And then once it's published, you can make changes, but let's keep the permalink so it just has the address. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add my text. And again, I always have 3 or 4 lines of text in there, and I'll show you why you need text. From there I can add my flyer, and I have to go to, I go to Insert Media, and I'm going to upload the file, and I just need to find it here. So once I have the file, I can just upload it. There it is. And when I upload it, I go in and I change where it says link to media file, I put none, and for alignment I put center, and this should be full size. So center alignment, link to none, and full size for the flyer. So now I'm going to insert that into the post. There's the flyer. And now I'm going to add the virtual tour. So I just hit enter, so I bring the cursor down below the flyer. There's a link here called Insert Edit Embedded Media, where you can click on that and you choose iframe, go back to your virtual tour, there we go, and I'm going to copy the virtual tour in there. I'm going to uncheck constrained proportions, and I'm going to make it 900 pixels wide, and I generally go 1200 pixels tall. It just depends upon how much space you need. So here's the bottom of the flyer, so we'll leave 1200 for now, that's fine. So generally speaking, it's 900 by 1200. Let me turn the music off here. 900 by 1200 for your virtual tour. So it's iframe, the URL and then uncheck constraint proportions and put in the dimensions. Click on Insert. And what that does is that inserts your virtual tour into your listing as well. You can't see it in here, but we'll see it when I show you the listing. Now we need to choose a category, and it's going to be active properties, or if you have a sold listing, sold properties. But in this case, we'll choose active properties. Moving down here, it's important to set your featured image. Click on Set Featured Image. So I'm going to set featured image. I'm going to upload the file, and this is my featured image here. So, and I just click on Set Featured Image. Then moving a little further down, we have to do a couple of things. One is I choose to hide the featured image, and you have to choose full screen on the sidebar layout. So hide the featured image in full screen, and I'll show you why in a minute. So now I've got these things done. You also will probably have a link to add it to Facebook. And if you don't have the social media package, then you need to contact me, and I'll talk to you about what it takes to put it in there. Otherwise, it'll automatically add your link to Facebook for you, and it's whatever you have chosen, your business page or your personal timeline. And if you choose not to add it to Facebook, there's a little checkbox you check. But in this case, in most cases, we're going to add the listing to Facebook. So then I click Publish. Once I've got all that done, I click Publish, and now I can view the post. So here's the post that I've got, and here's the virtual tour, and that's loading up. And that'll just be a couple of moments here. I'm going to turn the audio off. I'm not a fan of audio. So now I have added the flyer. I have, this is the address or the title. Here's the few sentences of text that I have. Here's the flyer. I've got the virtual tour in here as well. And the reason why we have to add the few lines of text is that, let me show you here on Susan's. A couple of things. One is, this is the featured image. If you don't have a featured image, then it shows up here with no picture. So it's important to have a featured image. You need to have a few sentences of text so that something shows up here. If you don't have any text, then it's just empty and it doesn't look good. So you want to make sure you have some text. And then once you click on this, on the flyer, the featured image, oops, I didn't mean to click on that, sorry. The featured image is hidden, so we don't have the same picture up here twice. We just have the text, we have the flyer, and then we have the virtual tour down below. And on this one, there's even more text, which I've added. And you can have pictures. I've added pictures on here as well. And the pictures will line up here, and then when people click on them, it will open up into a full screen so that they can see the pictures. So you can have flyer, text, virtual tour, and additional pictures on your listings. These are the things I do for you. This is what I provide as part of my service. And if you want to add your sold listings, if you'd like me to do that, of course, then there's a charge for time. Let me turn the audio out, sorry. Now, going back to the so again, here's the title. The featured image is hidden. Here's the text. Here's the flyer. Here's the virtual tour, and we could add additional text and pictures down below. So again, if you'll send me your listing flyers and send them in a PDF file, this is what I do for you. I add them for you. You can also let me know which ones have been sold. I will also mark them as sold for you, and if you want to keep them on your home page, you can. That's up to you. When you have them on your home page, then they will rotate through and look like this. Let me go back and show you what they look like on the home page, so that your listings can rotate through and people can see them. Here we go. And so that's a nice feature of your website, of your home page. So that's how you do a flyer. Feel free to save this video and review it, and let me know if I can help. And again, If you want me to do this, just send me your new listings, and if you want me to put solds up there, send me all the solds you have, and I'll get you an estimate for it. Thanks. This is Ron. Give me a call if you have questions. 925-658-4718. 925-658-4718. Thanks.